that the states have to take a stand and make something, and we hope that we will keep speaking our voice out and fighting until the states really make a change, really make a difference.
Okay, well thanks very much for your time and for coming all this way and putting your stories into the mix here at Copenhagen. Thank you.
Unfortunately, one of the people, the climate witnesses as they're called, who we most wanted to speak to, who is from America, didn't turn up for that interview, but Lizzie went out again to try and find her, so hopefully we will hear from her later, because she's from New Orleans and has a very interesting story to tell. But meanwhile, I'm joined by somebody who is a climate deniers expert. You poor thing, I feel very sorry for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming on our show.
My pleasure.
Thank you for writing your great book.
I'm the little, I should say.
You are the little
I'm a
writing.
partner. Yeah, there's the big writing, but he's so important they wouldn't let him in.
He's on CNN, is he, right now?
Yes, no.
You're on Steve Show.
He was a dangerous character, so they wouldn't let him into the cockpit. So.
Glad to hear it. So how's your country doing?
Oh
Just
yeah,
from the top,
we
just
want to
from
do
the
the. I want to say Canada. I'm from Canada, and it is appalling.
Yeah.
It's Canada had a really bad position. Yeah, they were here, and then there was a leaked cabinet document that was discovered by the CBC the day before yesterday, and it turns out that they want to go backwards.
They want to go back off the deal.
Yes.
No deal.
So it's not good enough to have them here because really they're not here. So we have a climate changing room, and
They are out of the race. They're back in the changing room.
unless they do something really stupendously surprising, and I don't think they will.
Wow, Canada. Worse than Saudi Arabia.
Actually, there was a recent survey of the top 57 countries, and Canada was 56th ahead of Saudi Arabia.
Right. But now,
Yeah, they want to back
according
up.
to Copenhagen.
We have not quite as much oil as Saudi Arabia, but we use it more irresponsibly.
Yeah, true. You've got some of those tar sands then. So, Richard, as you know, there's people, every time anybody makes a film or writes an article or anything, suddenly all these ordinary people jump on top of it and they all start talking about how it's sunspots this and blah, blah, blah. Who are these people and what are they doing?
Well, there are the ordinary people who are just badly suckered by the extraordinary good PR people who have been making this all up from the beginning.
Yeah, and how does it work?
It works. It works really well. It works because the oil industry started paying in the early part of the 1990s.
Yeah.
The oil industry and the coal industry started with the coal industry. Actually, they created whole strategies for denying climate science.
Yeah.
And in 1992, the Western Fuels Association in the United States created a strategy document that said, let's tell everybody that climate change is going to be good.
Yeah.
And they put out a video called Greening the Earth that showed rampant greening across the deserts. It was total fiction.
So 92, their position was climate change is going to be good.
Going to be good for you.
Right.
Coal industry.
Yeah. And how did that then change?
And then in 93, you were going to ask me about tobacco, but I'm going to tell you even before you ask.
You do that.
In 1993, Philip Morris, the big tobacco company, came up with a plan to get everybody to doubt all kinds of science.
Yeah.
Because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they wanted.
So they didn't just do smoking and climate?
Well, I mean, they were already. People already understood how completely not credible they were on tobacco.
Yeah.
So they said, why don't we make people doubt all science, just every kind of science, and so they put out a call to arms from all the people who might want to doubt science: the oil industry and the coal industry and the nuclear industry and the genetically modified foods industry,
and the good guys,
the fossil fuel industry was there big time.
Yeah.
So they started their own little group called the Advancement of Sound Science Coalition.
Perfect. And at that point, what was their position? What were they trying to get the public to believe?
Just doubt everything. They didn't. You don't have to believe.
So they weren't saying it's not happening.
Oh, they
weren't saying it's not happening, but it's going to be good for you.
No, they were saying we just can't be sure, really. And until we're sure, we shouldn't do anything.
Right.
And then the American Petroleum, there was another one that I could go on.
No, please go on.
American Petroleum Institute, 1997. They did a whole strategy document again that we found out and wrote about in the book.
And we showed in our film impact.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Everybody should buy the book. George Monbiot says it's brilliant.
Okay, enough plugs for your book. Let's plug our film. So can we have the clip now? Any chance of having that? This is a clip from our film The Age of Stupid, which is talking about all of this stuff.
Oh, good.
Why are American cities designed so it's almost impossible not to have a car? Why were 100 railways in cities like New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles bought up and then deliberately destroyed? Why did the electric car get scrapped? Why were we, along with Australia, the only two countries not to sign the original Kyoto Climate Treaty? Why was an oil company lobbyist allowed to change official government reports on global warming? Why was the same PR firm employed by the tobacco industry to persuade the public that smoking is healthy, then employed by the oil industry to convince us there was still doubt about climate change? Alternative energy has been available for 50 years. Why have we barely used it? Why were solar panels taken off the White House? Because, right from the early days of the industry, the oil men and their obscene profits have had an unhealthy influence on the people running our country. And now, they are the people running our country. And they're providing the cash, too. The oil business isn't just in bed with the government, it is the government.
So, Richard, all those people out there in the blogosphere who are all, arguing about whether climate change is happening or other, what do you think of those ordinary people? Not the ones who are paid for by the fossil fuel industry, just the ordinary people.
I really wish they'd get on side or read something other than something that they've read in the Wall Street Journal or on Fox News. They've been badly taken advantage of. And it's really tragic because there are the best PR people in the world making wads of money, and they're basically they've been suckered. They've all been they've bought a line of palaver that's just terrible.
I mean, they're basically out there doing the work of the fossil fuel industry without realizing they are.
They absolutely are, and they write comments, really inane comments on our blog, the Desmog blog, all the time.
Our film site too.
And
they'll be tweeting about this right now.
Yes,
next to the screen.
And I probably could write all those tweets myself because I've seen it so many times. But they are religious in their fervor. They're so excited about the idea that climate change isn't happening. I only wish we could work up that kind of enthusiasm from people outside this building. Or inside the building.
I mean, one of the saddest things about it really is we're not talking about an abstract scientific debate here. This isn't quantum physics or something. 300,000 people are already dying every year from climate change, and of course that number's only going to get bigger. And those people, those ordinary people who are basically the pawns of the fossil fuel industry, they are hastening that. I mean, they are.
It is more than the crime of the century. It could be the crime of the epoch. I mean,
of all of geological history, of all of geological time.
Well, of human time.
Well, except we're going to take down all the other species with us. Well, a lot of the other species with us.
Earth will survive. The other species might come back as long as humans are out of the way. But I would prefer a world where my children got to grow up.
Well, that's a nice link. Thank you very much. Because
my pleasure.
We have now got the video of the climate witness from America. I know you're not American, you're Canadian.
Okay, we have finally tracked down Sharon, who is also a climate witness, but she has quite a surprising story to tell. So, Sharon, where are you from, and what are the impacts on you?
Okay, I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi, from the U.S., not too far from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I am a survivor of Katrina. When I think about Katrina, which happened in August 29, 2005, it still terrifies me. I returned home to find there was nothing of substance that I recognize. It was no houses, no cars, no people, no life. All the life was gone, and I was just so outdone. I think I sort of had a mental breakdown for a while because I just wanted to get my pictures and just kind of gather them so I can have some history. So the pictures tells that we were there, that we did exist, that Hurricane Katrina was a massive devastation beyond your physical, visual self to see and to feel. And to know that 4 years later, that we're still